questions that I've been asked, basically some general questions for trucking. So let's get to it. Hope y'all are having a good day and hoping y'all are getting in some good miles. Yeah. Alright, so what is the demand for truck drivers? Is there a demand for it right now? As of right now, because they're still working on those ones that drive themselves, the demand for truck drivers right now is really high. And depending on like your driving record and or your criminal record will depend on how easy it is for you to get a job. There are plenty of companies out there that will hire you if you have a criminal record or if it's driving record. But like if you don't have a criminal past and like say you've never got a speeding ticket, never been in an accident, stuff like that, or at least in the last 5 years, it's really easy to get a job. A lot of companies are going to want you to work for them, and from there you can go on after you get your experience in like heavy hauling and hauling like fuel, gas, dangerous stuff with the more experience that you have. Yeah, alright, so let's go on to the next question. Alright, what is the turnover rate for trucking, or how hard is it in the beginning? I think if you have common sense and you're not afraid to work, it's not that hard. It definitely is frustrating for the first few months when you start any career. With van, it was frustrating because I had never driven a manual before, so that was like a whole different battle and challenge. But like once you get over the first few months and you learn the basics of it, it's not that bad. Same with flatbedding. Once I went through the training and I understood everything, it's basically just repetition, and then once you repeat so many loads and you learn how to secure them properly, it gets easier and easier every time. I would say the turnover rate's pretty high though, because whenever anyone starts out, you jump from company to company, even though it's not the smartest thing to do. That's what people tend to do until they find a company that they really feel happy with and feel valued and get the miles that they're looking for. Alright, so is truck driving... Oh, I already answered that. Okay, anyways. Like I said, truck driving is not that hard of a job in my opinion. I would say the hard part about truck driving isn't necessarily the job. It's more or less a lifestyle that you have to adjust to, and if you can't adjust to that, then you really can't be a truck driver, because you are away from your family for a long time. Your sleep patterns usually get messed up because just depending on when the consignee or shipper is open means you might have to change your hours of driving or when you're away to fit that, so that way you can either deliver or pick up a load. Do I get homesick? Yes and no. I mean, like, I miss my family, and I love them, and I miss my friends, and I love them, but, this is my job, and this is how I pay and provide for myself and everything that I need, so it doesn't bother me too much. I'm not a super emotional person, though, so, yeah. But I love my family, and I really do have a great support system. Like, I can always call them if I miss them, or video chat, and then it just makes the time that I do spend with them when I do finally get home just that much more important, and we really appreciate it, and, always try to do something fun together. And eventually one day, like years down the road, I'll have a local job, so like we'll have time to do all that fun stuff. Yeah, family bonding crap. Yeah. Alright, if I drive a truck, will I have to learn how to drive a manual? Honestly, as the years go by, they're phasing out manuals. The school that Charlie and I went to, we had to learn to drive a manual. I'd never driven a manual in my life, so that was fun. But now I know how to drive one, and sometimes it's got its pros and cons versus automatic. But honestly, they are being phased out now to the point where you have to special order a manual if that's something that you really want when you get your own truck. So sad to say, but the old trucking days and the new trucking is just not the same anymore. Nope. So that is some of the questions that I've been asked recently, and just some general questions on truck driving. If y'all have any questions for me, just leave it down in the comments, and I will do my best after I get like 10 or so of those questions to do a video on what y'all want to know, and get back to you as soon as I can. I will see y'all on the next video, and I hope y'all getting some miles, and have a good day. Bye.